Who is Virgil van Dijk? Start with the picture, not the medals. A tall frame that moves like it has nothing to prove. Long stride. Head up, shoulders square. The game slows when he's near. He doesn't shout to be heard. His voice lands once, and everyone adjusts. He wins the first header. Then the second ball seems to find someone, and red strikers glance over their shoulder before they've even received the pass. Because his angles take away space you thought you owned a second ago. There's no drama, no flailing, just timing that feels unfair. Teammates call it calm. Rivals call it a wall. Coaches call it structure. He calls it doing his job. That's the player we're talking about. A captain built on presence more than noise. A defender who made the sport remember how control can look effortless. But this image only makes sense when you rewind to the nights he almost didn't make it at all. That's where the legend began. The defender who bent the rules of stardom. What if the best footballer in the world didn't score 40 a season? In 2019, a center back stepped into a spotlight that usually belongs to forwards and refused to blink. He took UEFA's top men's award. He walked out of a Champions League final as man of the match. And he missed the Ballon d'Or by 7 votes. 7. For a defender, that gap was tiny and the message was loud. You don't always need stepovers to change the sport. He did it with timing, with calm, with the kind of presence that turns chaos into silence. That season, nobody dribbled past him in the league. The stats set the internet on fire. People argued about it more than they applauded it. Some called it hype. Others called it proof. Either way, it made one question impossible to ignore. How did a dishwasher from Breda end up here? And if the story starts at the top, the truth starts much lower. But that wasn't the whole story. Plates, paychecks, and a growth spurt that hurt. The road started far from the red carpet. As a teenager at Willem II, he wasn't the golden kid. He was a slow right back, benched a lot. He worked evenings washing dishes to have a little money for the weekend. Then his body changed fast. He shot up around 18 centimeters in a few months. That sounds like a gift. It wasn't. His knees, back, and groin screamed for months. Rehab replaced training. He had to learn how to move again. The truth is simple and a little brutal. Talent didn't rescue him. Patience did. He switched to center back because the height left him no choice. He kept his head down, rebuilt step by step, and tried not to overthink the noise around him. That's why the older version looks so composed. He learned the hard way how to make a big frame feel light. And yet, even after the growth spurt, even after the switch, doors didn't open. Not yet. The name nobody knew. Until a miracle night. Groningen picked him up when Willem II looked away. He waited. He learned. He got 4 substitute cameos at the end of the season. Then came one of those nights that makes a career. Groningen were dead. Down 6-2 on aggregate in the Europa League playoff. The manager shoved him up front. A center back at striker. It sounded desperate because it was. He smashed a free kick. Minutes later, he nutmegged the keeper. The stadium went from empty to full as word spread. Groningen won 5-1 on the night and forced penalties. They still lost the shootout, but the comeback carved his name into the local memory. The club owed him a look after that. Then real fear hit. Stomach pain that wouldn't fade. A misdiagnosis. A rush to another hospital. Appendicitis. Peritonitis. A kidney infection. He later said he signed papers like a will. He couldn't walk for days. His body felt broken. He finally returned. Everything looked different. Football mattered, but life mattered more. That perspective never left him. Still, if you think that's where the rise really starts, you're one step early. Glasgow. Dominance with a deadline. Celtic moved quickly. Small fee, big leap. He settled in within weeks. The team racked up clean sheets. The league title felt routine. One season, Celtic conceded just 17 goals. He dribbled out of defense, hit free kicks, and started to look unplayable in a league that sometimes felt too easy for him. It wasn't arrogance. It was readiness. You could see it in how he picked his moments. He didn't slide for the sake of sliding. He waited, then took the ball like it was his in the first place. Scotland taught him how to dominate without shouting. It also taught him a hard truth. If he wanted the level that matched his ambition, he would have to leave. That's what the next move was for. England noticed, specifically one Dutch coach with a plan. Southampton. Perfect games with almost no tackles. Deadline day. A move to Southampton, not London, not Manchester. The South Coast. It turned out to be smart. The old line about no-nonsense defending didn't quite fit anymore. He didn't hunt tackles. He hunted danger. He read the run 2 seconds earlier than most. With Jose Font beside him and Fraser Forster behind him, Southampton stacked clean sheets. At one point, Forster went 667 minutes without conceding. That's not luck. That's a unit tuned to the smallest detail. His name spread. Bigger clubs circled. Then a storm hit. Southampton reported Liverpool for an illegal approach. Liverpool issued a public apology and backed off. He handed in a transfer request anyway. He trained alone. Fans felt betrayed. The move was messy, public, and loud. But the football reason never changed. He wanted the biggest stage. When the deal finally happened, the fee was a record for a defender. Pressure, sure, but the timing was perfect, and the fit was better. Liverpool, from punchline to fortress. Before he arrived, Liverpool were thrilling and terrifying, often in the same 90 minutes. After he arrived, the panic started to fade. The backline snapped into shape. In his first full league season, Liverpool conceded 22 goals. That's it. He took PFA Players' Player of the Year. He took the Premier League's own Player of the Season. And he walked out of Madrid with a Champions League medal and the finals Man of the Match award. The most argued stat, that league season ended with no successful dribbles against him. Not once. Some rivals said he avoided challenges. Watch the tape. He picked better ones. He played the ball in the space, not the hype. He made defending look simple in a league built to make it look impossible. Awards followed. So did debate. He lost the Ballon d'Or by 7 points to Messi. For a defender, that margin is a whisper. The results stung, but it told a bigger story. The world finally saw a center back as the face of a season. And then, when the noise felt highest, one collision changed everything. The collision, the silence, and the long way back. October 17th, 2020. A derby that started hot and turned cold in a snap. A heavy collision with the keeper. An ACL tear. No red card. No retrospective action. Just months of rehab and a lot of questions. Would he be the same? Would Liverpool? Missing him. Liverpool went from relentless to human. With him back, they felt like themselves again. The comeback wasn't instant. It never is. But you could see the rhythm return. He took the armband in 2023. He lifted the EFL Cup in 2024 with a header deep into extra time. The whole arc felt like a quiet answer to every doubt. Elite play isn't loud. It's consistent. And just as he settled into captaincy, the club shifted again. A new boss. A new cycle. The standard didn't move. A new boss. A new title. The captain's era. Jurgen Klopp waved goodbye in 2024. Arne Slot took the wheel. People expected turbulence. They got a title parade. Liverpool clinched the 2024-25 Premier League and reset the conversation about what a transition can look like. The trophy handoff said as much about culture as it did about tactics. One era ended. Another began without flinching. In April 2025, the captain signed a new deal through 2027. No drama. No guessing games. Just a decision to keep building. And this season, the story opened with a classic Anfield twist. A Champions League opener against Atletico, decided by a stoppage-time header from you know who. The aura, still there. The timing, still unfair. The calm, still contagious. Every new question keeps getting the same answer. Control. Why the calm looks like magic. Here's the part most people miss. He doesn't defend the ball. He defends space. He angles runs so wingers sprint into cul-de-sacs. He keeps his feet quiet when you want him to lunge, and he lunges when you think he'll hold. That patience bends an attacker's idea of what's open. It drains their best option, then their second best, then makes them roll it back to midfield like nothing was ever on. The dribble streak everyone fought about wasn't a party trick. It was a side effect of habits. The decisions were clean. The distances were right. The body shape said, "Not today," a fraction earlier than you noticed. That's why elite forwards praise his timing. They feel the trap closing even when the tackle never comes. And when the legs do go in, the aerials are his, the first contact is his, and the second ball gets cleared before panic can spread. That's the quiet edge. He makes your bad choice for you. The parts you weren't supposed to see. He wasn't a prodigy. He didn't have a super agent at 14. He washed plates. He signed a will in a hospital. He stuck around in leagues people call easy, then proved that nothing about his climb was easy. He forced a transfer and took the heat that comes with it. He walked into a dressing room that needed belief and gave it a center it could trust. He lost the biggest individual award by a handful of votes and kept going. He tore a knee and rebuilt his game rather than chase the ghost of a version from yesterday. None of that fits the classic highlight reel. All of it builds a different kind of highlight, the one where your team stops conceding cheap goals and starts winning adult games. That's why teammates talk about security when they talk about him. It's not romance. It's outcomes. The part that still divides the internet. Was he underrated because he made it look easy, or overrated because the numbers became memes? The answer is probably both, depending on the day. The truth lives in the middle. He has had dips. He has had spells where the line stepped too high, where recovery sprints looked heavy. That's normal. The difference is what happened when it mattered. Trophies, finals, awards voted by peers, and a title as captain under a brand new coach. Those aren't vibes. Those are receipts. And yes, the dribble aura ended in a curtain raiser months after the perfect league season. Records die. Influence doesn't, because the very next season, the aura showed up again when it counted most. That's how legacy works. It's not a straight line. It's an average you can trust. A last thought, and a simple question. Look at the whole arc. A teenager who wasn't the best in his age group. A kid who scrubbed pans to afford a night out. A patient rehab story. A miracle playoff comeback. A near-fatal infection. A calm giant at Celtic. A stormy exit from Southampton. A fortress in Liverpool Red. A captain who lifted trophies for two managers with very different accents. That's not a straight line. That's a fight. So here's the question that lingers after the goals and the fees and the votes. Did he change how we value defenders? Or did he just remind us that great defending is a kind of control we forgot how to watch? Maybe it's both. Maybe that's why the clip of a last-minute header still breaks through an algorithm wired for step-overs and screamers. Because order, in the last minute, is still theater. And for a player who once washed dishes to buy a burger and signed a will in a hospital bed, that final minute calm is the real shock. The rest is just medals.